Bart.
Yo, what's shaking, AC?
Oh my gosh, it's been a little while since we did this. I hope nobody's noticed.
I'm back. Yeah, I hope nobody's noticed either, but I'm happy to be back at it and just start ranting about awesome things.
Yeah, okay. Well, do you want to jump right in? Because I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
Okay. Well, I was on a high after the recent the Wednesday franchisor roundtable where we talked about attracting and sort of recruiting veterans as franchisees. It was really fun to see all the key takeaways at the end of the roundtable and the things that people didn't realize about not only why veterans make great franchisees, but also how to find them beyond some of the more obvious avenues. So I thought it might be fun to recap some of the things that stood out for you and some of the things that stood out for me from that roundtable to share with our audience. Because I think when you don't give it a lot of thought, you're like, yeah, I know I should be attracting veterans. They make good franchisees. But when you understand more about it, it might motivate people to go do that. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. My mind was blown after that roundtable too. Like it was potentially one of the most like memorable ones that I've been to because it was all so like new to me. Like I don't have any veteran franchisees, nor do I have any veterans in my family or anyone close enough within my family that I would be able to speak to about this sort of stuff. So everything there, like I'll tell you, all I've known as veterans in terms of franchisees has basically been veterans are good franchisees. Veterans can follow processes because that's the nature of what they've had to do in the military. And you need to give them some sort of discount on the franchise fee and get involved into some sort of veteran association to find them that way. And that's all I knew. I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I'll do that. and
Yeah,
then
like
they'll just
sure.
come, right? Like they'll just
Yeah,
be there.
yeah. And that's only the barely the tip of the iceberg about A, why they make good franchisees, B, how to find them. And I don't know, I don't have a C for you.
Okay.
You know, when you do that and you're like, or do you ever go like A and then two, like instead of A and
And
B?
D, yeah, like
Yeah.
Buzz from Home Alone.
Yeah. Like one time my daughter, when she was a 2-year-old, she was counting and she went 1, 2, and she got up to 8. She said she was like 7, snow, no, 7, no man, 9. When she was counting with my brother, her uncle. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. A little bit of squirrel. Yeah. So yeah, there's a number of things that came out of that. So why don't you kick it off with a couple of your
Sure.
key takeaways,
Okay.
your KTAs.
Well, one of my biggest key takeaways here was sort of understanding the mindset of a franchisee, a veteran franchisee, right? I've been hammered in that they are good franchisees because they follow processes. And I always think to myself, okay, that's a good thing, but is that like the end all and be all of why they're good franchisees? Because
It's now that now that you learned what you learned, doesn't that almost sound almost condescending? Like, well, they're
well,
good at following the system,
but
so
it's not even that. Like it makes you wonder, is that really a good thing? Because the way it's been told to me is they will follow the system and that's where it ends. You still need to like there's no they won't think outside the box. They won't try to grow it. They will just follow their command as it's written, end of story, right? And
that's
I
what you
get
perceived.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I perceived. And so what was told to me is like, although that is a benefit there, one of the big things around veterans is that they're taught and they have ingrained in them such a deep level of resilience that, failure isn't an option. They are very mission focused. They'll die on that hill for the cause that they're battling for. So although they'll follow the processes, if things aren't working, they have this. They're compelled to make them work and figure out a way to make them work, which is such a desirable facet within any franchisee.
Totally. I also just sort of really aligned with that was just that this mission focus, having a mission that they're all aligned on, and then the team, like being a franchisee, the more you understand that you're like on this really big team, the more when it comes to franchisees worrying about someone in the other territories taking their customers, or or I don't want to help my lower performer franchise peers because that's their problem, not mine. Well, I don't like a veteran that's used to thinking about we all need to work together is going to probably not think like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was one big thing that I took away. Another big thing is that what happens to veterans after they're done serving, right? From what I generally see within society, usually they end up homeless, which is not a good thing, or they're really, really senior people, you know, like in their 80s that are just contributing to Veterans Affairs by like trying. Yep.
I just want to point out that this is your perception here, because
Yes,
that sounded really bad. But this
yeah.
was your perception before, but you learned. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they get out of service, like there's a whole system built for them. There's like a transition services system. You know, the very family oriented. Their families live on base, and when they're out on deployment, the families also have to do things, go to work, pay bills, run businesses, all that sort of stuff. It's like a full ecosystem within the veteran society that, you know, you're not only selling a franchise to a veteran, but their family there who's supporting them, which is so important, you know.
I think I read or heard somewhere that it is I don't know the percentage or anything like that, but that franchisees that are supported by their families, like it's a key trait, or not really a trait, it's not a trait, but it's a key factor, key success factor is having family support as a franchisee to be successful, because when it gets tough, you need those people there to support you. So yeah, that goes hand in hand with veterans are typical, like that's typical for them. Their family has to support them, whether, you know, it's the wife or the husband that's out on a mission or deployed or whatever, they're away, and they have to be okay with that and hold down the fort while they're gone. And I don't know, is that okay to say that? I just said that. Hold down the fort. Anyway.
So you finish deployment. It's not that you were all of a sudden a senior citizen, or you know, you're struggling to get by. Like they go out and they get actual like real jobs. You know, they can become police officers or anything along those lines, right? And oftentimes these are also young people or middle-aged people, right? So there's the gamut of who could fit a franchisee is wide, with some fundamental traits that are very desirable. You know what I mean? And so now the next sort of key takeaway was, how can you speak to them? It's not just signing up for an organization. Like there's all these other, you know, this transition assistance. I always think about like Ray Kroc in The Founder. He would go give a talk to a chamber of commerce, right? There are these scenarios where you give a talk to veterans to help them, teach them about, you know, entrepreneurship or the next things that happen in life after you're done serving in the military, etc. And that there's legions everywhere that you can get involved in. Like it seems like it's a very proactive opportunity from the standpoint of a franchisor to get involved in there and find some opportunity for growth.
Yeah. So yeah, a key takeaway for a lot of people was go find out where are the military transition services in your community and connect with them and see how you can get involved with, like, going and doing a talk, like you said, or maybe promoting the opportunity and yeah. And then I think that also kind of leads back to like the mission and all that. Like that was, I asked the question to the group, you know, what's the messaging that you want to say that will attract a veteran? And that was kind of a common theme, was like the promoting the mission that you're on as a team. One thing I wanted to just maybe two things real quick here. One of my key takeaways that I hadn't thought about, which sounds so obvious, is also looking for veterans for employment. So whether that's for your home office or your franchisees, and what I got from that was it's typically the younger ones that maybe don't have, like, not the officers so much, but the younger ones that maybe don't have as much of the income at that point. So they're typically younger and maybe not in the leadership positions. One last thing I want to say is I think we should just give a quick shout out to our buddies, Jonathan Wethington, Paul Trapp, Steve Davis, who created the Patriot Expo for veterans specifically. So if anyone's listening to this, those are going to be going on in the next few months in various different cities in the US. Just Google Patriot Franchise Expo, I think will probably get you there. Yeah. Anything else? We got another few seconds. We got a last key takeaways.
I think that's it for now. I mean, we could keep talking about this for a long time, and then we'll just go over time, and people get bored and phase out and start doing something.
I hope they didn't already get bored, because I think we do have a few people that watch these, because when we don't do it for a bit, we do sometimes get that question, or we get the, hey, you guys have like 100 now. I'm like, wow, yeah, maybe we do. Do we? I don't know.
We got more than 100. Yeah,
more than 100. Okay. Well, let's wrap it up. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1,
go be awesome.